fast, reliable, instant, efficient network for disbursement of services. In short, FRIENDS. FRIENDS is a successful e-governance initiative of Government of Kerala. The Centre for Development of Imaging Technologies, CDIT, is a total solution provider for Government of Kerala. They were assigned the job of implementing this project as well as its maintenance. This project was envisaged as a single window facility for selected departments having public interface.
The project commenced in 2000, and with our experience for last 3 years, we can very easily say that it has been a very useful project for the common man. It makes his life easy, no hassles for payment of various taxes, payments to various public bodies. For the departments, it is a facility. It simplifies their work. There is saving on staff, and even without a back-end computerization, the project has shown that the benefit of computerization can be brought to the masses. The offices work from 9 to 7 p.m. even on Sundays, except national holidays. The staff is drawn from the various departments, user departments. They are trained and they are work in a very congenial environment.
What happens in government is that most departments have a very independent kind of functioning, or what we call compartmentalized style of functioning. For example, if you want to pay a water bill and at the same time you want to go to the motor vehicles department and get your license renewed, and after that, let us say you perhaps want to go to the corporation and remit your professional tax. Now, normally what would happen is that you would have to visit each of these offices. You might have to take half a day off each time, and then you have to go and complete your transaction. The key difference between FRIENDS and all these centers is that FRIENDS is a single window facility.
Now, what is that FRIENDS does? In FRIENDS, you can just go across to one center and then complete your transaction of paying bills for electricity, water, motor vehicle tax, corporation tax, university fees, telephone bills, etc. The departments participated in this venture are Revenue, Motor Vehicle, Civil Supply, University, Kerala State Electricity Board, Kerala Water Authority, Local Self Bodies and BSNL. It has been implemented in 14 districts. The districts are Thiruvananthapuram, Kollam, Pattanamthitta, Alappuzha, Kottayam, Ernakulam, Idukki, Thrissur, Palakkad, Malappuram, Kozhikode, Wayanad, Kannur and Kasaragod. Considering the success of this project, many other departments are now coming forward to join in this venture.
Practically, it is a cash collection center. The advantage of the citizen is that he need not go to various offices. He need not stand on long queues. Earlier, the situation was that in government offices, cash transactions were allowed only between 10 o'clock in the morning and 1 o'clock in the afternoon. In FRIENDS, we had a concept of 9-hour working shift along with 6-day working, including on Sundays, which means that you had extended hours of collection, more convenient hours of collection. We devised a simple software where the data entry operator can type in the details of the citizen or the bill amount, and on the basis of that, this information will be stored onto the server there, and a receipt would get generated against a cash receipt.
Public के लिए बहुत अच्छा है. There is no queue.
It will take only 5 minutes for a person to to remit their payments.
There are around 10 to 12 counters in all these district centers except for Thiruvananthapuram, where there are 20 counters where people can pay their taxes and bills. In fact, the staff at Friends were also instrumental in getting the support of their own departments, that is, the line departments. The line departments, interestingly, were quite hostile when the project was started. Within a short period, it had actually changed so much that they started asking whether more services could be added. Similarly, staff themselves came up with several innovative ideas as to improving the ambience and also suggested certain changes that would qualitatively improve the facility.
In Friends today, we have more than 35 kinds of services that the citizen can access.
It is a very popular scheme because its rate of growth over the last 3 years, on an average, has roughly been 150%. In that sense, we can say that it is one of the fastest growing government programs. The second index of popularity is the number of citizens who are going there. Over the last 3 years, Friends Centres have serviced more than 1.2 million citizens across the state of Kerala who have visited these centres for doing some transactions or the other. The third index of popularity, and this is perhaps the most important, is what do citizens actually say and think about Friends. A retired government officer says, "Excellent service, hats off to the people behind the show. I am really impressed with the courtesy rendered to citizens like me." Again, I am extremely happy to state that the Friends setup is extremely helpful to the public at large. This is what a citizen from the district of Kollam has to say. I am very, very happy with the kind of facilities and services offered by the Friends Centres. And here is an officer from the Indian Navy who says, "It was indeed a pleasure to see such a good venture functioning in the government of Kerala. I am extremely impressed with the level of convenience and services offered." The London School of Economics had done a study of the utility of Friends Centres to the public, and they evaluated this Friends Centres on 2 parameters. One is what is the cost saving, and the other is what is the time saving to the citizens. Now, in terms of cost, they found that if a citizen goes to Friends, he actually saves as much as 58%, or rather, it is nearly 60% cheaper than going to an ordinary government counter. And in terms of time saving, it has been observed that the time taken is roughly about 1.5 hours to go to Friends Centre and then come back, even if you assume that a person is living far away. But if you have to go to a conventional government counter and come back, it will take you anywhere between 3.5 to 6 hours. That, when multiplied by 1.2 million citizens, one can figure out the actual time saving and the actual cost saving to the citizens. This is the justification for starting a centre like Friends.
One of the aspects of the Friends Centres that came out in the study made by the London School of Economics was that 99.7% of customers who are serviced by Friends have expressed very, very high levels of satisfaction. Normally, in government projects, we do not assess what is the citizen or the customer's satisfaction levels. It's only in the private sector where, that you actually measure. But here, they had done a survey across various sectors of people, and they asked them to benchmark, saying how many people are actually very, very satisfied, not satisfied, dissatisfied with the levels of service. And I think the biggest endorsement of Friends has been that such a high percentage said that they were completely satisfied.
When we started IT Mission way back in 1999, one of the first things that we did was a comprehensive survey to assess the e-governance initiatives within the state. We found that most departments have spent a large amounts of money in procuring hardware and in having certain systems for internal performance monitoring. However, very few services were available to citizens through IT at that point of time. The whole idea, therefore, was to refocus the entire e-governance activities on citizens and ensure that certain minimal levels of service are indeed delivered to him more effectively, more cost effectively through the information technology mode.
I am a neurosurgeon by profession and currently the Vice Chancellor of the University of Kerala. Interestingly, staff in the university were very skeptical about this project, especially the finance department. They were doubtful whether they should join the Friends project at all, because their suspicion was that once the fees etc. are remitted in the Friends counter, it may take some time for the amount to be transferred to the university account. But somehow I could convince the staff that it will be beneficial to the university if we join this project. And I was proved correct, because the university has about 200,000 students under the university and the various colleges. And we have got only one cash counter in the university. During the peak months, when the students come here for remitting fees, etc., there will be a big crowd in the cash counter. And it will be extremely difficult to manage the student crowd in the university campus. And frequently there were student unrest even in the university campus, because the staff could not control the crowd when they come for remitting fees, etc. So 4 districts, now the students of the Kerala University can remit their fees. And moreover, the fees can be remitted up to 7 o'clock in the evening. And secondly, even during Sundays, students can come at leisurely and remit the fees. Fees in the campus have tremendously come down, and the university staff can cope with them. Now the students are extremely happy, their parents are extremely happy, and the university staff are also extremely happy of this setup.
When this idea came up, there was very stiff resistance from the departments. The general feeling was that each department was the best placed to offer services, and something like a single window counter would not be sustainable in the long run, because they said that we are the departments concerned, we know what our citizens want, we know what our clientele wants, and so therefore it is best that we give those services. The other interesting comment that came up was, what is the need for such a center at all, and would it not be a waste of government money? Where this idea was extensively discussed, and slowly the level of acceptability began to increase. But even then there was some skepticism. They said, let us try it out as a pilot in Trivandrum district. Let us see whether it's really useful to the citizen, whether it is popular, and then we'll take a decision on whether we want this facility at all. I'm very glad to say that the experience with the pilot that we did at Trivandrum, the state headquarters, was a big success. Right from the first day, people were very happy with the level of services offered, and within the first month itself, it had become a very, very popular facility.
In Kerala Telecom Circle, at present we are having 32 lakhs landline connections working. Those customers are now paying their bills through the Friends since last 2 years. A very good response, and the customers are very much satisfied about the functioning of the Friends in Kerala. In Kerala, about 32 lakhs landline customers are now with us. Approximately 5 crores rupees every month we are getting the collection through the Friends counter. On seeing this overwhelming response from the telephone customers, we have introduced the provision for making the cellular mobile phone bills of BSNL through Friends from the last December 2003 onwards. Within 2 months, we found about 1.5 crores rupees have been collected through the Friends counter throughout the Kerala. Also, about 17% of the mobile customers are paying the bills through friends. The reason the friends counters are having very easy approach, it is functioning all the days and even after the office hours, and the cordial environment available in the friends counter is really to be appreciated. Especially the husband and wife, if they are working, they can go to the friends counter and make the bills even after the office hours. So this is the main reason BSNL introduced the facility of making the bill payment through friends counters in Kerala.
We have now 7 universities in Kerala. 3 of them have already joined this project. We are also contacting other universities, sharing our experience with them so that they can also join this very people-friendly project. Through the Friends Counter, the university is collecting about 325 types of different fees. I very strongly feel that this is a project which can be implemented and should be implemented by other education institutions in other states, especially the universities, because the number of courses conducted by the universities are increasing day by day, and the remittance of these fees through university channels will be extremely difficult. I very strongly recommend to the other vice chancellors in other states that they should also take the initiative to implement such a project in their respective states also, and they should put enough pressure on the state governments to implement this project.
I am here as Transport Commissioner for last 3 years. I have been enforcing the Motor Vehicles Act and also the Motor Vehicles Taxation Act in Kerala. We have a system of regional transport offices and 42 sub-regional transport offices. Actually, the government has come down to the citizen, and the citizen is benefited because he does not have to wait anywhere. Number of people who have come to the Friends centers throughout Kerala, as far as Motor Vehicles Department is concerned, it exceeds 6 lakhs, and the revenue collected which comes to the Motor Vehicles Department through the Friends centers, it is above 10 crores. I had a personal experience. I had gone to the Friends center in Trivandrum last week. That is exactly on 27th of February. So I could hear people talking among themselves. I had not introduced myself as the Transport Commissioner, but I could overhear people that now they don't have to pay money to the agent in the Motor Vehicles Department. They are happy that they need not pay any money as agents' fees when they go to the Friends Center.
Friends is serviced by about 300 dedicated government staff deputed from various departments for whom Friends is offering services. The next step in Friends will be to get its reach to the rural population. What is being considered now by the government is to roll out the Friends services at the village level through the Akshaya project.
I being the mayor since 2000. I am the first lady mayor of the Trivandrum Corporation. Friends, it is a friend to a common man. He can go there, he can give the telephone bills, he can pay the electricity bills, he can pay the property tax, professional tax, license. If they want to give their children's university fees, they can pay all the taxes. I think it is a very relief to the common man. The queue in corporation is reduced, and every day collection in the Friends is transferred to the corporation.
One specific point which I would like to highlight regarding Friends is the cost effectiveness of the whole system. As I mentioned earlier, government departments have been buying computers and using it for rationalizing the process reporting structures within the departments. Here we have used the same money which government departments would have otherwise spent on such processes, internal monitoring, we have spent the same money and set up citizen-friendly kiosks and ensured a very good ambience there. The staff is deployed from government because the same people who would otherwise have been collecting the money in government departments in their individual offices are deployed here. In fact, the expense on staff salary is practically absorbed by the government and without an additional burden on the government. The only recurring charges that we incur are the facility rentals and the electricity and service charges of the individual Friends centers.
One specific point regarding Friends is the cost effectiveness of the whole system. The government departments have spent the same money on this project which would have otherwise been spent on computerization for various needs. This money has been used for setting up citizen-friendly kiosks. Secondly, the staff is deployed from the participating departments who would otherwise be doing the same job of collecting money in their respective departments. So there is no additional burden on the government on computerization or staff in Friends.
In the next phase of replication, where, as I said, services will be offered within 2 to 3 kilometers of every citizen's home, there it will be a public-private partnership model again, where the infrastructure will be provided by the private sector and the staff will also be provided by the private sector. But government will be providing its content to be delivered through that. At the moment, Friends is a completely government-owned and government-managed facility. But as I said, within the next 1 month or so, we will be moving over to a model where it will be run by the private sector, but definitely it will be jointly owned by government as well as the private sector in terms of the services being both a combination of government services as well as private sector services.
Average 1,000 people are coming here and remitting payments. And also average collection per day is 10 lakhs rupees. The maximum amount collected here is on 27th of February. On that day we collected 36 lakhs rupees and 3,000 people remitted here.
See, our effort is to continuously add more services. For example, the taxes department is going to come online into Friends. Similarly, we are talking to the railways. We are in the process of trying to finalize an MOU with them. Similarly, Air India is talking to us on seeing whether ticketing facilities can be extended through Friends. The passport office again is another user with whom we are tying up. Therefore, we need to add more and more services, both private and public, so that it can really be a single window for citizens.
Initially there was some reluctance of some departments to part with their powers and to join this scheme. But gradually they found that it is a very useful scheme both for the department as for the citizen, and now they are very enthusiastic about the project. At the moment it is all district centers. We would like to extend it to many more centers in the state. And we will, after collecting some user charges, perhaps we will extend to other private sector people also. Now this project is also assisted by our project Kudumbashree, where women below poverty line are organized into self-help groups. All the auxiliary services for this project are provided by this group. So it is a win-win situation. It has also brought positive change in attitude and behavior of officers towards an ordinary person. The healthy looking environment, periodical training and correct approach towards the changing technology are must for a growth oriented government. The government of Kerala has succeeded in this respect.
you.